Aishah.
Hi.
What brings you here today?
I'm having anxiety a lot.
What's going on? Why are we having that problem?
Well, I've had anxiety for a while, but I think it's because school's about to end. I'm about to graduate. I'm supposed to graduate. Like, I hope I graduate. What if I don't graduate?
What brings the worries of not graduating?
Like, what if I get like a B in one class and then like I don't get a job because my GPA drops? Or I fail a class. That's worse than a B.
Are you struggling in your classes right now?
No, but what if I start struggling?
Is there any particular class that you worry about?
Finance, I've never liked numbers. But I do fine in them. But still, it's a worry. I can't control it.
Are you getting, you try and seek assistance, anything?
Like tutoring?
Yes.
Yeah, I go to tutoring, and then, I always do what the professor tells you to do, and I seem to be doing fine. But it's just this thing in the back of my head. I don't know, there are too many things running through my mind.
What else is going on if you're not just worried about that one class?
Well, the job market's pretty awful, if you don't ask me. Family stuff. I feel like it's just me and my cat at home now. Brother moved out. Sister moved out. My parents are like, meh. Meh.
What's going on with the parents?
My dad's been sick. He has high blood pressure. He's not that happy that I'm not in medicine. I'm actually the only one in my entire family that's not in medicine. So now he wants me to go into like healthcare administration or healthcare marketing, and I really don't want to do that.
How does that make you feel that you're the only one not in medicine?
It's like I haven't done well enough. Like I'll never make them proud enough.
Or do you enjoy what you're studying?
Yeah, I love business and marketing. All my talking comes in handy. At least that's what my dad said.
Do you feel that they're proud that you're succeeding?
They tell me they are, but I don't know if they really are. I mean, it always comes back to, well, why don't you do this? And it always has to do with something in the medical field. That's just how my culture is. I mean, both my parents are from India, and so the only acceptable jobs were ever being a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer. I mean, the high school I went to was a medical academy, so it was the only thing I ever knew. Then when I discovered that I don't want to do medicine, and I was passionate and good in something else, it took my brother to convince my dad that marketing was just as good of a profession. But he still doesn't seem to accept it. He's always telling me to diversify myself.
Are you enjoying your field of study?
Yes, I am. It lets me be more creative, and I feel like a lot of people in my culture kind of suppress that, so they just write poetry and stuff like that, which I write poetry. Nothing's wrong with poetry. I love that. But the fact that I get to do what I'm passionate about every day, it's a lot more different.
Keep kind of talking about, from your culture. How does that, is there an issue within your culture in doing the field of marketing?
Well, it's like women in business, and they have to be in charge, and, a lot more strict, and I guess, I don't know, the rules of business are a lot more different, so that's not always seen as a positive thing. I feel like in my culture, the women are always the ones who stay at home and things of that sort, and that's not me. Like, you're supposed to be more quiet and more shy and stuff like that, and I'm a lot more outgoing and stuff, or at least I feel like I used to be, but I don't know.
You feel like you used to be more outgoing?
Yeah, but then like all this anxiety just kind of brings me down. I don't feel like doing things anymore.
Is some of that anxiety because of just, feeling your role in society?
Well, it's like, what are the people in the community going to say? What if they start saying things, and then the whole thing comes down to, because my dad's always focused on how we look in the community and what other people think, so it's trying to please my parents while trying to please the community, so where do I fit in all of that? Then you have to factor in religion and what's permissible in my religion and whatnot, and it's just too much to handle sometimes. Sometimes I wonder why even bother trying anymore.
You seem to enjoy the product that you're putting together. You know, your resume of your classes and, you know, the businesses that you're getting yourself involved in.
Yeah, I do, but like if I'm the only one that's happy, then like, what's the point? Like, what if my parents aren't proud of me?
Have they shown any signs of not being proud of you?
Not that I've been personally told, but I've always overheard things. Clearly things that I was never supposed to hear. That's what makes it harder, is knowing that they hide it.
Mm. Do you feel that some of your culture is going to inhibit your ability to do the things that you want?
Yes, I've always wanted to go into fashion, but then culturally it's like, well, can't go into that fashion industry because in my culture or even religion we don't wear that type of clothes, and me promoting that would be wrong because then I'd be going against my own personal beliefs. So there are certain fields that I can't even go into just because they don't align with my religious and cultural beliefs, so that already limits me.
Is there a way of maybe combining your religious and cultural beliefs into your love of fashion?
I could. I never thought about that. I don't know. It's hard to get advice with those kinds of things. There's a really big Muslim Students Association here on campus, but I'm not that involved in it because people always look at me different because I don't wear a scarf like my sister did.
Do you feel that you're judged differently, not just within your own community, but in the whole community as a whole, because you don't, you know, wear the scarf?
Yes, especially when people find out that my sister is my sister. They're like, "Oh, really? How come you don't wear this scarf?" It's like, well, it's my personal decision. So that makes it tough. And then knowing that there's so many like associations that come with being an Indian Muslim, and then knowing that you're nothing of those stereotypes, you're always questioned as to why.
Now, do you wish you were closer to those stereotypes?
No. But then sometimes I think that if I were, then my life would be easier in terms of making friends, and perhaps I wouldn't be worrying if I'm going to make my parents proud, and I wouldn't have to narrow down my field of choices and where I work.
Do you feel that in time it'll all, that you might be able to just blossom into the career that you want, even though that you have some of the cultural problems that you might have right now?
I want to be able to, but I'm afraid that because of my anxiety, that's always going to hold me back from even wanting to pursue that type of career. So maybe I won't even attempt to go into a field that I know I would excel at, but I don't because I feel like I have to stick to my cultural and religious obligations and adhering to those values.
You were mentioning previously about, that your brother had talked to your parents, so obviously you hold your brother into high esteem. Have you talked to him about some of these concerns?
No, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, and he's doing medicine, so it's really all that he's ever known. But he's the one that was able to make my dad understand, just because he did do business as a fallback if he didn't get him in medicine. Sure, I hold him in high esteem because I respect him. I've always looked up to him. But then when he wasn't there for me a long period of time, I don't know. I mean, I still respect him because he's my brother, but I guess that also just kind of comes from culture and religion, because I have to.
Is there anybody within, your cultural demographic that might understand where you're coming from with some of these, anxiety, anxious issues?
I don't know. I feel like people in my culture look down upon those with mental health issues. They keep telling you that it's all in your head, which, I mean, clearly speaking, it is in your head, but they think it's all made up. I'm sure there are people out there. I just haven't found them yet.
That should be something we can talk about next time. Thanks for coming by today.